Hi everyone, and welcome to my first YouTube video. Yay! So, I wanted to start this video off by kind of showing you my program, the art program I use, and some of the different features of it, and then I'm going to go ahead and answer some of the questions that were asked on my Instagram, the little poll thing that I put out a couple days ago. And while I do that, I'm going to show you a time lapse of me drawing, or maybe not even a time lapse, but some parts time lapse, some parts like real time of me drawing some parts of the animation from the newest animation I released, which was the animation of the knife thrower to the song from Waitress. Yeah, so let's get started. So to begin, I use Procreate, and I use an Apple Pencil and an iPad Pro. Those are my drawing tools, and that's mostly what I post on my Instagram. However, there are other things that I do. I paint in oil paint, and then I also do watercolor, gouache. I love doing pen and ink, that sort of thing. So basically whatever I'm in the mood for, but whenever I animate, it is always going to be on here. Great. So when I work, I almost always exclusively work in grayscale. I really like grayscale, but I also have different color palettes that I use. This one is actually called Robot Apocalypse. It's for another set of OCs I have. These ones are from Images, just different color palettes I found online, and then this one's for a book I was illustrating, and then these ones were ones that were in the app already, and then these ones, Treasure Planet, Moana, Aristocats, Cinderella, yeah. Those ones are ones that I made from taking a still or a screenshot of those movies that I really like the colors in that scene, and then I would put them actually in this app in order to make this color palette, which I think they turned out really good. So you could do it from camera, whatever. And then apart from color palettes, the brush I always use a studio pen. So the studio pen, I use this for basically everything. I use it for inking / sketching, which my ink and sketch layers, they're basically the same layer. I'm a very lazy person, so inking and sketching, basically same thing for me. And then I also use it to color in sections. But yeah, I really like this pen. It gives me a lot of variety when I do different pressure things and whatnot. And I normally, when I start drawing, I draw it with it all the way down, the smallest size, the tiniest size. But you can see that when you bring the brush size up higher, then the pressure can make it different and whatnot, which is really cool. That's why I like using the Apple Pencil, because it's pressure sensitive. So then I also do my animating on Procreate. So I'll go into the little wrench tool, and you go into the canvas button of that, and you can turn on animation assist, and this is your little animation bar where you can do your frames and whatever. So yeah, you can add frames, and it has this awesome onion skin feature where you can see the frame under it, so then you could just basically draw on top of it if you want to draw the same thing, or show how it's a little different. Or you could turn the onion skin frames off for just one. I like to turn it to just one, otherwise it's a whole mishmash of frames underneath, and it's hard for me to draw that. And I also like to turn the opacity of the onion frames down so that they're not as dark when I'm drawing over them. And yeah, just a little smiley guy. Now I have 4 frames, and he's smiling, and then you could turn the frames per second down so it goes slower, or up so it goes faster, depending on how fast you want everything to go, which is really cool. And yeah, that's basically it for a little tour, so why don't we start drawing? Great, so heads up, I had already started on this one, so I do have quite a bit of frames, which you can see here, and I did already color a lot of them in. Yeah, but let's start answering some questions. Sorry, I have my piece of paper here with the questions you guys asked on it. And we'll start with probably the most asked question, which was, when did you start doing art? So when when I started, this question is hard because I was always drawing, like, always. As a kid, I was doodling all the time, everywhere, on anything, but that was like little kid doodles. I'm sure every little kid goes through a stage where they draw on literally everything. I first started drawing, like, for real, actually, to improve my skills when I was probably 12 or 13. That's when I decided, hey, this is cool. I like drawing. I should draw more. But heck, I didn't start off very good at all. Like, at all. And that was another question. Can anyone learn how to draw? The answer is yes. Absolutely. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what your already base, like, skill sets are. You can learn how to draw. It just takes practice, and it takes effort, like anything else. Like learning how to ride a bike. Anyone can learn how to ride a bike. Anyone can learn how to tie their shoe. It just takes effort and practice. And references. Lots and lots of references, which we love here. We love a good reference over in the Desk Doodles corner. The second most asked question I had is, what motivates or inspires you? So that's a good question, because I'm not quite sure. People ask this a lot. I guess my favorite, like, TV shows and animators and other artists really inspire me. And inspire me to keep drawing, keep it up, achieve my dreams and my goals, and just have fun while doing it. Art is so fun to me. I get to explore what these people in my head look like on paper. Like, it's so fun. I really enjoy doing art. So I think what motivates and inspires me the most is other artists and just nature. I guess nature is like one of the go-to answers for everyone, but nature really does inspire me. Okay, and then another one of the most asked questions is, who is the man, the strange man in some of the reels that I have posted? Who is this man, this very strange man? And what is he doing? Why is he here? Well, my friends, that is a very good question. And it's one that I can answer, but I don't think I will right now, because I want you guys to experience the story as I pull it out from the depths of my mind and piece it together on paper and give it to you, or on iPad and give it to you. I don't want to give away too much in the beginning. I really don't want to do that. I want you guys to kind of experience it with me. I can tell you that this strange man is a demon, and he is haunting the circus. He's haunting the circus, but I won't tell you why. Not yet. You'll figure that out soon enough. And then another most asked question I had, going back to the demon man, you guys, first of all, thank you so much for blowing up that reel and kind of getting me where I am and inspiring me to even start this channel and continue along these stories, because I didn't think anyone would be interested, but man, you guys are really interested. So first of all, thank you. Second of all, oh my gosh, I was like, ooh, scary, creepy character that everyone will be like, ooh, that's creepy, that's scary. And the number one comment that I have seen in the comment section is like, oh man, he's hot, I would date him. No, guys, talk about toxic relationship. You guys are like ready to put on the veil and just like go to the altar with this man, and that's a bad idea. You're ridiculous. I love you, but you're ridiculous. Stop. As your friend, I need to get you out of this toxic relationship. No. Anyway, back to the questions. Another question was, what is your process? So, one of the more like niche questions asked within this question is, when you can't draw it on paper, like like you're having a hard time drawing it on paper, what is your process for getting it onto paper? Like, if you can't just go straight from your mind to the paper, what's your process for that? And so I know a lot of people, I would talk to people about this, about being able to see these images in your head and getting them down on paper, and I actually can do pretty good at that. But for me, when it begins, sometimes it's not even an image yet. It's a feeling. It's a feeling that I want to convey, an emotion I want to achieve for my audience. And I can't exactly figure out how to do that because there's no image in my head. It's just an emotion, a feeling, like deep in my gut. And when that happens, I'll listen to music, look at references off Pinterest, try to get a sense of what this feeling is, and then normally I can patch it up to being in a division of my OCs. So I have many OCs, and normally that feeling will fit in one of the sections of my OCs, and that's cool. So I'll just be able to fit that feeling in, and then from there I can get kind of a sense of what I want on the paper, which is really cool. But also my process, if I have an idea and like my idea is visual first and not feeling, I'll just be like, okay, I start with drawing a circle for the head and then go from there. The face is my number one priority. Always getting the emotions down in the face, number one priority. And I'm still really bad at drawing faces. Or not really bad at drawing faces, but not where I want to be. Like, it's not where I want it to be yet, which doesn't mean I'm bad at it. It just means I need to work harder in my own standards, which should be something you guys take into consideration too when you're looking at different art pieces that you're like, oh man, I really love this artist, everything about them is perfect, I wish I was like that, my art sucks. Well, no, your art doesn't suck, it's just that you want to get better. You're in a spot where your art isn't at your standards for what your art should be. That doesn't mean your art is bad, it just means you want to improve, which is healthy and good. So don't be mean to yourself. You're doing great with your art, and just keep practicing. Honestly, I know people hate hearing from artists tips for art that are just keep practicing. But it's true. It's really true. I'm sorry to tell you guys, it's true. You just need to keep practicing. Even since I started this account, Desdoodles on Instagram, even since I started that account, it's been like 6 months, maybe 5 months, 7, I don't know, somewhere around there. My art has improved drastically, and you guys are part of that because you help me to keep drawing, and every time I draw a character, I improve. It's really cool, and I'm happy to see it, and I'm happy you guys are showing me that. And then along that line, another question I got asked a lot is, how did you develop your style? Well, that's a really good question. I think that my style is a mishmash of things that I like to see from other artists, and my style goes through many changes, and I even have several different styles, like even now, with like little cutesy things, and then more like line art, kind of scary things with lots of lines and lots of definition. Even though they may not be scary, they're just a little more detailed, and I feel like that leads to more of a horror aspect of them, depending on how you portray them. But those styles really came about from looking at other artists, taking what I like about them and kind of translating it into my own. When I first started drawing, I would watch how to draw tutorials on YouTube for like anime characters. Mind you, I have never watched anime. I just liked the way anime characters looked. So I looked up different tutorials and I would copy artists' drawings, not copy like trace over them, but copy from eye. And as I would copy, I would kind of develop my own style into these things. And now my style is something that's genuinely mine. I don't have anything that I would be like, oh yeah, this is from this artist or this is from this artist. It all kind of evolved into my own thing, which I think is very, very cool. And you guys can develop your own style too. It's just a matter of practice, as I've said before. Practice, practice, practice. So now that I've got through like the questions I really wanted to answer. Gosh, the questions I really wanted to answer because you guys asked them a lot. I'm gonna go through some of the like random ones I got, which I think are funny. So one of them is, what is your favorite food? That's a good question. My favorite food is either mashed potatoes or mac and cheese. Sorry for anyone who doesn't like those, but I'm in love. And nobody will be able to come between me and mashed potatoes or mac and cheese. I'm sorry. Not even mashed potatoes and mac and cheese. They come in between each other. Like, it's a double thing. Take it or leave it, both of them. And then another question I got asked is, the profile picture that I have on my Desk Doodles Instagram account, is that me? So no, that's actually a picture of Jackie, who is my knife thrower OC. Jack for short. She just goes by Jack a lot, which is I like. That's why I named her that. But I did post on my story a drawing that's like my persona. I believe it's in my highlights in my account. But yeah, so that's not me. That's actually Jackie. I just like her a lot, so I put her out there. And then another question I got asked was, do you draw on your body, like just randomly doodling if you're bored? And the answer to that is yes, all the time. You can ask anybody. I will always have doodles on my hands, mostly, and my knees, where my ripped jeans allow me to draw doodles. So yeah, I do like drawing on myself, even though it's probably not the best thing for my skin. And then another question was, would you ever do like fan art from like movies and stuff? And the answer to that is yes. I actually draw a lot of fan art. I just don't post it a lot. But if we ever do sketchbook tours on here, you will see all the fan arts from everything. Especially like a lot of Harry Potter and like Sherlock Holmes. In love with Sherlock Holmes for a while there. Yeah. But like stuff like that. Percy Jackson, yada yada. If we ever do sketchbook tours, you'll see what I mean. And then a lot of people asked about how I draw / animate hair, and they like the way I do it, which, first of all, thank you so much, because I'm kind of not insecure, but I kind of don't like the way I draw hair and do hair. I don't think it's not my favorite. Like, I think other artists do it much better. So those compliments made my day. Thank you guys, you're the best. And for me, the tips I would have for drawing or animating hair, let's start off with drawing. With drawing hair, just make it flowy. Make it like, you could do as many chunks, sections. You can make it like as less detailed as you want, as long as it's flowy and you can feel the flow. Yeah. And then for animating hair, gosh, I don't really know what tips to have. When I first started animating, I would look at movies, and I'd see how the hair reacted in either animation or in live action. It didn't matter, because animation it follows live action, so you can look at either and see how it reacts. But sometimes animation is easier because it's not as detailed, and I just make it move a lot. Like, even if it makes no sense, it's not stagnant, and that makes it look good, I guess. That's kind of like my tip for it. Just don't let it just sit there. Make sure it's moving, unless the character is literally just sitting there so stark still that it wouldn't be able to move. But that's my tip for it. And then, can you draw hands? Can you draw hands? That's a question that I would love to answer, and the answer is yes, but no, but sometimes, maybe. maybe sometimes, maybe. If you see my art, you'll know that sometimes I draw hands. Sometimes I draw pretty decent hands with like actual fingers, with like actual wrists and hand parts of the hands. But then there are those times where I draw hands and they're literal circles with 2 lines indicating fingers. And that's literally it. So to answer that question, it depends on the situation. Next question. The next question is, are any of my OCs based on other people? The answer to that question is yes. A good deal of them are based on my friends, like a good deal of them. But I'm not gonna tell you which ones, because that makes the magic lost. But then a lot of them aren't. Like a lot of them are just my total imagination. Honestly, okay, I said a lot of them, but I think at most it's 2. I'm a liar. It's 2 of them. 2 of them are based on my friends. So yeah, I'm a liar. I'm sorry. And then another question that I got asked a lot was, when is part 2 of the cult leader video gonna come out? And the answer for that is actually, there's not really going to be a part 2 of that video. There's going to be more story that's about that kind of same arc, but it's not going to use that same audio. It's going to be different things, like with different audios and that kind of stuff. But it will expand on the story. It's not just going to be like, well, that was there, no more of that, because I'm sorry, I wouldn't do that to you guys. I'm not that mean. Maybe. Wow, looks like this video is already at like 20 minutes, so I think I'm gonna end for today. Maybe I'll make another video, answer some more questions later, and you guys can see all the videos and reels I was talking about on my Instagram at des_doodles. I'll put the link in the video description, and hope you guys have a great day. Bye!